Hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome to SD Chess World and I hope you are doing well. Today we will going to see a match between Ju Wenjun and Tan Zhongyi. Both are chasing for the World Women Chess Champion title, where Ju Wenjun started the tournament with a 2.5 point after round 3 and Tan wins the round 4 and shows that she is also here for the title. So before moving to this game, I would like to request you to subscribe the channel and show your support. Also, it will notify you whenever I post a new video. Now we have done that, let's go for the game. Tan has a white pieces here and Ju has a black pieces. So Tan started with d4 and knight to f6 by Ju. Bishop to g5 and attacking on the knight. d5 played by Ju. Knight to d2 and knight b to d7. Now supporting this knight over here. Knight g to f3 and h6. Now attacking on the bishop, so bishop goes back to h4 and c5. Now attacking on this d4 pawn over here. So e3 supporting the pawn and e6 supporting d5 pawn. c7 now solidifying this d4 pawn and making room for the queen and his bishop. Bishop to e7 and bishop to d3. Now this bishop is really strong here because it is taking over this extraordinary squares over all the board, and this played a main role for Tan in the game. You will see queen to c7 activating a queen and queen to d2. Here black castles and white castles. b6 and here bishop takes on f6. Now idea is this bishop on d7 square is controlling over this e5 square, and this Tan just want to put this knight on this e5 square to control the extraordinary square in the center. So this bishop takes on f6, and if now this knight takes this bishop, that then this knight can jump on this e5 square, and actually this happened in the game. Knight takes on f6 and knight to e5. Now this knight is controlling a really active square for black here, and bishop to b7 activating the bishop on the really strong diagonal over here. f4 supporting this knight and solidifying its position, but it allows you to play the move knight to e4, and this knight is also covering over this really good square, but there are two attackers for it. If this knight takes this knight and pawn takes this knight, so bishop had to come back to this c2 square and it loses its activity on this diagonal. So white don't go for it, white just go for rook a to d1 and supporting this knight over here. After this bishop to d6, now attacking on this knight over here, which is controlling lots of square, and Tan goes for queen to g4, making some attacking move. f5 attacking on the queen, queen comes back to h3, bishop takes on e5, and here f takes on e5, and this rook on f file is getting this activity on the f file. Queen to e7 and queen to h5. Here king to h7, and black is ready to push this pawn on this g6 square and attacking on the queen. So queen goes back to e2, and here rook a to c8. Now here Ju wants to exchange the pawn on d4, and this rook will get open c file over here, but here Tan goes for rook to f4, now activating this rook and also allowing this rook to go on f1 square and doubling on f file, and here rook to f7 by Ju. It is she's also want to go for this doubling the rook on this f file. g4 now attacking on this important pawn, and why this pawn is important here, because as you can see this bishop don't have activity right now, but it is aiming on this really strong diagonal and attacking on the king, and in this way there are only two pieces, that is knight and this pawn, and if this pawn falls over here, then definitely this bishop will get good activity. And after this rook c to f8, now doubling on this f file and queen to g2, and after this c takes on d4 and c takes on d4, knight takes on d2, and here black just allowing and opening this diagonal for this bishop, but the idea is making some activity for this b7 bishop, and if this pawn is moved, that is d5 pawn, then this bishop can threaten some queen and king attack. But this will not going to happen because this pawn is not going to move. So rook takes on d2 here and g6, now solidifying this pawn over here. There are two supporters and two rooks which are supporting this pawn over here, and and after this queen to h3 by 10. Now going for this h file, this rook is going for this f file, and this rook is ready to jump on g file, and bishop to c8. Now here this bishop is also aiming on this important pawn, and black's plan is to make this bishop ready to e8 square so that it can control this important diagonal. After this rook to g2 as per plan. Now this rook taking f file, this rook taking g file, and queen is taking h file, and there is attack from this bishop over the king. So all the white pieces are attacking here, and if you see the black condition here, these two rooks are restricting the movement of this king and queen also. Queen don't have any influence over here, this bishop is not doing anything, and king has some square to move here. So after this g5 attacking on the rook, rook to f3 and king to g7, now going for this escape after putting this rook on this f file, but here queen to h5. Now this is a really good square for this queen, so that it can anytime jump on this g6 square supported by this bishop. After that bishop to d7. Now idea is bishop to e8, here h4 by 10, now attacking on this g4 pawn, and here you have to take any action because this attack is really strong over here. These two pawns are attacking here, and any of mistake just is going to be bad for black. Here you goes for f takes on g4, and it is mistake. You can see that this pawn is attacking on this rook also, these two rooks are attacking on this rook, and this rook is unprotected, but it is also allowing this bishop to activate, and this bishop is really strong over here. Instead of this, if Ju goes for g takes on h4, then it is really disastrous, because after this pawn takes on f5 with check, discover check from this rook, so king to h7 and f takes on e6, now discover check from this bishop, and also there is attack on this bishop and this rook by this pawn, so rook come to f5, now come in between and sacrificing a rook, rook takes on f5, rook takes on f5 and queen to g6 check. King has only one square, that is king to h8, and queen to g8 is going to be a checkmate. So in this game, f takes on g4 was played, but it is also a mistake. Here 10 immediately go for queen to g6, now supported by this bishop, and king has only one square to go, that is king to h8. Queen takes the pawn on h6 with check, king goes to g8. This rook can't go for this h7 square because of this bishop. King to g8. After that rook takes on g4, and this rook is threatening to take this pawn. This pawn is attacked by this rook pawn and this queen, and it is only supported by this queen over here. So rook to g7 going in between and supporting it, but here 10 played a really beautiful move, that is rook to f6. Now there is an influence of this rook, and black can take this rook. If black take this rook, then pawn takes this rook, and there is attack on this rook and queen, and one of the piece is definitely going to fall over here, and this pawn is supported by this white queen. So definitely you can take this rook, and here Ju maybe blunder the game, or she just want to go for another line. She goes for queen to b4, and I think she just want to attack on this b2 pawn, or going for this e1 square for some perpetual check. And after this there is beautiful 3-move checkmate is available for white over here. So queen takes on g7 with check, sacrificing a queen. King have to take the queen, there is no option. King takes on g7, and rook takes on g5 with check, supported by this pawn. Both the rooks are supported by the pawn, they are covering over this f file and g file. This bishop is controlling this diagonal over here. So on this position Ju resigns the game, because there is only one move possible for this king, that is king to h8, and after this rook to h6 is going to be a checkmate. So due to this reason Ju resigns the game on this position. It's a move number 35, and really nice game played by Tan Zhongyi, and this is a comeback game for her. I hope you like this game. If yes, then go ahead, hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Also don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. It will notify you whenever I post a new video. You can join me on Facebook, Google Plus and Twitter. You just have to search for SD Chess World, and you can watch my previous videos here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.